Hello everybody, I'm Charlie, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a king cake from scratch. King cake is associated with the celebration of Mardi Gras. Now down here in New Orleans, where I'm from, it's carnival time. And we celebrate carnival by eating king cake. And there's a lot of different types of flavors, fillings, and all of the above. There's so many different things that you can do with a king cake. It is awesome. Yes. And this recipe calls for a nice, delicious king cake. Nice and soft on the inside, not hard like some king cakes out there. Ooh. Yeah. But anyways, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Okay, this is all what you're going to need to make your king cake. And before we get started with our ingredients, I want to let you know that some of these ingredients must be at room temperature, especially ingredients like your unsalted butter, your milk, your eggs, and your water. Okay, it's very important that those ingredients be at room temperature. Okay, now let's get started with our ingredients. Okay, you're going to need some all-purpose flour, unbleached, and along with that you're going to need some lukewarm water, and along with that you're going to need 1 package of either the active dry yeast or the instant dry yeast. You can use either or for this recipe. Okay, along with that you're going to need some sugar, some salt, some oil, and some unsalted butter at room temperature. Okay, and for your optional ingredient, you're going to need some light brown sugar. Now this sugar cannot be added into the dough part of the recipe. This can be used in place of the regular sugar to put into the filling part of your king cake. Okay? Alright, let's continue. Okay, you're going to need some whole milk at room temperature. You're going to need some eggs at room temperature. Okay, so both of these ingredients must be at room temperature. Alright, and for our king cake icing, you're going to need some 100% pure vanilla extract, some imitation butter flavor, some good quality confectioner sugar. Okay, it's very important that your confectioner sugar is of good quality, and this is what this is right here. Do not buy anything cheap, okay? Because if it's cheap, it's gonna taste weird. So do not buy no cheap confectioner sugar. Good quality, okay? All right, and along with that, you're gonna need some unsalted butter, some water, and some sprinkles. Now you're gonna need some sugar sprinkles. This you're gonna need some purple, yellow, and green sprinkles, sugar crystals. Okay, and to bake your king cake, you're going to need one 11 by 17 inch pan. Now you can use something a little bit smaller than this, but I'm going to use this pan here. Okay, and along with that, you're going to need some non-sticking spray, and the Glad wrap is to put along the top of the table, so that way when we roll our dough and put everything out, cut everything out, and braid our king cake, it'll make for a much easier cleanup. Okay, and there you have it. Alright, let's get straight to it. Now here I have 1/2 cup of warm water, and we're going to add the entire package of yeast right into there. I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. Alright, now that we got that mixed in, now we're going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of sugar. That's going to feed the yeast. It's going to give the yeast something to eat. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in. Now what we want to achieve is we want this yeast to become a nice bubbly like mixture, and this is how it's going to look when you're done. Okay, so you're going to let that sit for about 10 minutes. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and preheat our fire to medium-high heat. Okay, so in a little small pot, we're going to go ahead and add 1 stick of butter, and we're going to melt this stick of butter. Go ahead and let that melt, and that's how it's going to look when you're done. Go ahead and turn our fire off on that. Alright, our yeast mixture is now done. It's been about 10 minutes. Now you can wait longer, you know, if you have other things to do, but this is how it's going to look when you get done. It's going to be a nice bubbly-like texture. And there you go. If you are using a stand mixer, use the dough hook attachment. And if you don't have that, then you're going to need a large, sturdy spoon to mix your ingredients. And you're also going to need some strong hands to knead that dough. Okay? Alright, let's get straight to it. Now here I have my stand mixer with the dough hook attachment. Now we're going to add 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Going to add it in there all at once. And to that we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar. And 1 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in on a slow speed. Alright, so in a small bowl, here I have a measuring cup. I'm going to add 1 cup of whole milk. Make sure your milk is at room temperature. Okay, and to that we're going to add 2 large eggs at room temperature. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in. Alright, now that we got that mixed in, now remember that's 1 stick of butter that we melted. We're going to go ahead and add that in there. Alright, and to that we're going to add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in. Alright, now here I have my milk mixture and my yeast mixture ready to go. Now we can make our dough. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and add our milk mixture in there first. And we're going to go ahead and add our yeast mixture in there. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and mix this in on a medium-low speed according to your stand mixer's settings. And we're going to mix this for about 5 minutes. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes now. Now as you can see, our dough is a little bit sticky, so we got to add a little bit more flour. So we're going to add about 1/4 cup of flour. This should help it come together. I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. Got to make sure that it comes together. All right, looks nice. No longer sticks to my hands. All right, now we're going to go ahead and flour the surface of our table. Make sure you put a generous amount of flour. All right, we're going to place our dough right on top of there. And we're going to knead that in. Now, as you can see, it's kind of sticky, so we're going to add a little bit more flour, sprinkle a little bit more flour on top of the dough and on your hands, and you're going to knead this a few times, about 20 times. And with each time, you're going to go ahead and add a little bit more flour and knead it some more. Alright, now that we got our dough nice and ready to go, now we're going to go ahead and put about 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil. We're going to spread that around our bowl, along the bottom and the sides of the bowl. And we're going to go ahead and put our dough right into the bowl and put a lid on top and put this in a warm spot for about 2 hours. It's very important. Okay, while our dough is rising, we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 cup of sugar. and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And this is for our king cake filling. And we're going to go ahead and mix that in. Alright, it's been about 2 hours for our dough, and as you can see, it has doubled in size. It has risen. Yes, yes, yes. Now we're going to go ahead and press down on it. Just release the gases of the yeast. Now your hands might be slightly sticky at first, but the dough will return back to its non-stick ways. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and add some flour onto the surface of our table. Again, that's right, again. We're going to go ahead and take our dough out and place it on top of the table. I'm going to knead it in a little bit. About 10 times we'll knead it in. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and shape this into a rectangle. Alright, now that we got a little small rectangle going, we're going to add a little flour on top, and we're going to roll this out into a 30 inch by 15 inch rectangle. So it's going to be 30 inches long, 15 inches wide. Alright, and there we go. We're ready to go now. Now I'm going to give you a quick demonstration on how big the rectangle is. Now remember, it's going to be 30 inches long by 15 inches wide. Alright, now taking a knife, we're going to go ahead and cut 3 large strips. Now these strips are going to be 5 inches wide. So that's 5, 10, 15. So you should have enough to make 3 5-inch strips. Alright, and that's how it's going to look when you get done. Alright, here I have a half a stick of butter. Now as you can see, I have some butter in there already. And we're going to go ahead and take that butter and we're going to place it into the microwave and melt it. About 1 minute should do it. And there we have it. Melted butter. Hee hee. Alright, now here we have our 3 strips. Now I want to let you know, do not put any butter or any filling onto the edges of the strips, because this will cause the king cake not to seal all the way properly when you roll it up. Alright, now we're ready to apply our butter on top of our strips. Now we're going to go ahead and just spread that generously around the top of each strip. As you can see, we got the 3 strips nice and buttered on the top. Now we're going to go ahead and add our cinnamon sugar mixture right on top. And make sure you apply a generous amount of it. Use the entire thing. The entire half a cup of that mixture. Alright, now that we got that, that cinnamon sugar on top, now we're going to go ahead and roll it in. So we're going to start from the edge and just pull it off. Pull it off the edge. And we're going to roll this up. Okay, we're just going to start off just a little bit. Now if you do have a problem with your dough still sticking to your table, the only thing you have to do is just take some flour and just add some flour along the edges, the edge, which you're going to pull off, and that'll kind of help a little bit. Or you could just put some flour on your hands. That'll help. So we're going to go ahead and roll that up. I'm going to roll it up till we get to the edge, like how you see here. You see that? And once we get to the edge, you're going to take your index finger and your middle finger and you're going to press down along that edge to seal your king cake. I'm sorry I apologize that I did not put that in this video. But you got to press down. You got to take your index finger and your pointing finger, your middle finger, whatever, and just press down along the edge to seal it, okay? Alright, and this is how it's going to look when we're done. Now it's time for the braiding instructional video. Okay, now it's time to braid our king cake. Now braiding is very simple. Here I have 3 strands of dough for our king cake, okay? Now the thing that you want to remember is that there's 2 strips on this side. The one that's on the very end always crosses over to the other side. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to take this in and we're going to cross it over. Okay, now we have two strands on this side. Now remember, the one on the very end always crosses over to the other side with the two strands. Okay, so we're going to take this one and cross it over. This one. Very carefully. Okay, now we have two strands on this side, so we're going to take the one on the very end and cross it over. This one now. See? Very simple. And you're going to continue to do this until it's fully braided. Alright, now we're back. Now as you can see, I am braiding the king cake. I hope that braiding instructional video helped you out. Alright, and that's how it's going to look when we're done. Nice and beautiful braid. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and spread some non-stick cooking spray onto the bottom of our pan, and we're going to place our king cake dough right on top of that pan. Do it the best way you can, guys. Do it the best way you can. You want to put it along around the side and edge of the pan. Alright, and we're just going to braid that in. I'm doing it the best way I can, y'all. I'm still learning how to do this stuff. Alright, now that we got that nice and braided, look at that. I ain't do too bad. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and put a towel over this, and we're going to put this in a nice draft-free warm spot for about 2 hours. Alright, it's been about 2 hours now. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it looks. Wow, look at that. It doubled in size. Wow, look at that. Alright, now we're going to preheat our oven to 380 degrees, and we're going to place our king cake into the oven, preheated 380, and we're going to bake it for 15 to 20 minutes. Alright. Now while our king cake is baking, we're going to go ahead and make our icing. We're going to add 2 cups of confectioner sugar. And to that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of water, 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and we're going to go ahead and mix that in. Alright, and mixture should be very thick. Don't let the video fool you, because I got it turned up on high speed. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of 100% pure vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of imitation butter flavoring, and we're going to go ahead and mix that in, and you're going to mix it real good to remove all lumps and everything. And when you get done, it should be a nice smooth consistency. Now if your icing is too thick, then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of water. If it's too thin, add some more confectioner sugar. Now here I have our king cake ready to go. Alright, our king cake is done. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the oven now. Alright, look how nice golden brown that is. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and take our icing and put it along the top. Now I'm going to go ahead and drizzle it. Alright, now if you don't have enough icing, then just make another batch of it, that's all. Alright, now we have our icing on top of our king cake. Oh, that looks so beautiful. Now we're going to go ahead and add our purple, gold, and green sprinkles. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to go ahead and add our purple. Put a generous amount on there. Put a generous amount of the green. And a generous amount of the gold. And there you have it. Oh, look how beautiful that is. Mardi Gras, yes, it's carnival time. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like up, subscribe to my channel so you can enjoy all of my delicious recipes cooked right here in my kitchen. If you have any questions or comments, please post them, or you can email me at charliethecookandrews@gmail.com. Until then, take care, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.